Hi, Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, breaker of the seven seals, a book of Revelations called the AL-INJIL. Welcome. Let's bring in our audio friends. This is the let me change this. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Sisters and brothers, the topic is the cruel joke. Sisters and brothers, let me start out by saying something here. You know, one of the commandments is honor your mother and your father. Do you understand that commandment? That's your ancestors. It was honor them. If you want your days to be long. See, you don't understand those 10 commandments. They mean a lot more than you think they mean. See, they was also talking to the devils because we're their mother and father. We produced them and was telling them, because that law was actually given to them to honor us if they wanted to continue to live. But they didn't do that. And the other side of it is honor our mother and father, our ancestors. We don't honor our mother and father. Most of us don't even honor our mother and father, our direct mother and father. And almost all of us never honor our ancestors. I mean, we spit on our ancestors. We spit on them. We don't care about them. Those people suffered immensely, suffered like no other people suffer in the world, and you walk around like you spit on them like they was a piece of shit. You don't care about them, right? And their only hope, the only thing that kept them going, the only reason why you're still here, like the messenger said, he said they would condemn you in the judgment. They would condemn you in the judgment. If they could see you now, they would condemn you. Because their only hope was that sooner or later, right, their descendants, right, would take revenge on these evil, wicked people for what they was doing to them, and that they would return home. They wanted to return home so badly. They didn't want to stay. They did not want to stay here. They wanted to get back home. Elijah Muhammad taught that. We have them talking about that. They wanted to get back home, and they wanted to get away from these evil people, and they wanted these people to be punished for what they was doing. That was their only hope. That's what kept them going. And you just shit on it. You don't want to go home. Right? You don't want to avenge these wicked people. In fact, you want to marry them. You want to kiss them. You want to hug them. You want to love them. Fist bump. See? Oh, forget about that, man. That's the past. Oh, that was the past. You know, maybe we should put you back there in the past. Elijah Muhammad said they would condemn you. They would spit on you if they could see you now. If they could see that's what they would produce, someone that was going to spit on them, spit on their suffering, and not avenge them, because no nation on the planet does that kind of stuff. They avenge their ancestors. See, they don't walk around and make love and joy to people, right? That cruelly was so cruel to their. Cruel is not even a word. See, that's kind of like, you know, a reference of one human to another. No, we wasn't human. Honor your mother and father. And you see these clowns out here, they don't care about those people in the past. It was like, shit, hell with them. I got my BMW. I got my job. See? I got my honey. I got me some dough in my pocket. I got me a few ducats, a few coins. F them. Okay, we see how that works. Because you was told to honor them. And you don't honor them. Well, see how you see how that works. Because you know something? All you just doing that, you're going through a tribulation. See, and you're going to get in 1 year, right? All the suffering that those people went through for 400 years. It's going to be compressed in 1 year, and see how you like it. See if you're going to come out of that fist bumping, loving, forgiving. See when it happens to you, because that's what's going to happen to you, because you're not going to the promised land. You ain't going to get anywhere near it. See, because you don't deserve it. Because the people that brought you through, you cursed them. You shit on them. They were nothing. See? And then the people that did it, you in love with them. So we're going to see how that works out for you. Let's talk about this cruel joke. See, they don't tell you, brothers and sisters, you don't really need to read. You don't really need to read history at all. Some of these things are self-evident. See, when they had so-called end of slavery, that corresponds to the end of the agricultural age into the industrial age. That means you don't need cotton pickers anymore. See, the agricultural age, you need people and farms to pick stuff and all that kind of stuff. But once you have machines, you don't need to do that anymore. At least not as much. So they went from, because they've been in the agricultural age for 5,500 years. And then they finally burst into the industrial age, and that's a whole nother story to begin with. How all of a sudden that happened once they brought us over here. See? So they went industrial. So they didn't need you, so they freed you. But they didn't really free you. They fired you. You think about it. Okay, here you was on the plantation. You didn't know any damn. You couldn't speak English. You spoke something that you couldn't speak. You supposed to speak this some variation of English that they limited you to speaking that. You couldn't speak like you weren't educated. You couldn't speak like they spoke. You couldn't read or write. See, you watch these movies. You didn't speak like they spoke. Your language was very limited to what you were supposed to do. And master. That was probably the biggest word that you knew. Master. Yes, sir, master. Yes, sir, master. Yes, sir, master. That was about the base. That was about all. That was your vocabulary. See, you didn't know anything. You didn't know anything about the world. See, all you knew was that plantation. That's all you knew. And you might know something a little more if you got sold from one plantation to another. That means your brand changed. So if you was James Richardson, right, and you got sold to Mr. Blacksmith, then your name became James Blacksmith. So it wasn't even a name, it was a brand, but you still walk around with those brands of proud. Hey, my name is James Richardson. It's sad. See, you don't know your history. But it took 64 years to turn you into a Negro butt. 64 years. The first Negro bus rolled off the assembly line in 1619. Fully certified, stamped. See, you went in, go to Kent, and you came out Toby. And you love, you happy being Toby. Oh, my name is Toby. Yeah, man, I'm Toby, man. I know who I am. I'm Toby. Sad. But you didn't know anything. You didn't know north from south. You didn't know east from west. You didn't know anything. You didn't even know what the seasons, unless they told you. You didn't know what their week was unless they told you. Do you understand? You didn't know a damn thing. You wasn't supposed to know anything because you was a robot. You was a Negro butt. And so they went to agriculture. They went to industrial. They didn't need you anymore. So they freed you because they didn't need you. But you don't get it. They say, oh, we freed you because of slavery. It had nothing to do with you being a slave, by them loving you. It had nothing to do with that. You better go read it again. It was about economics. See, because when they went to industrial age, they had to take, and then the slave master was taking farming you out to the factories for lower what they could, the white folks could get. And so the white folks got mad. They said, we can't compete with that. I mean, if they're going to pay us $10 an hour and a slave worth $5 an hour, they're going to hire a slave. He's not going to backtalk. He's going to do whatever they tell him to do. See? And so that was the problem. And they couldn't work it out. And white folks said, man, we can't compete with that. And slave master didn't care because he wasn't going to do any work. The slave wasn't going to get the money. So that's what the war was all about. It was economics, because they were moving into industrial age. See, but now I can tell you, the thing is all, remember, you go check. The North controlled both houses, Senate and the representatives, for most of since they began in 1777, and they controlled the presidency for most of the time too, right? And so if they was against slavery, then they could just vote it out. They didn't. Remember Harriet Tubman, according to my understanding, my historical research, she was a slave up in New York. She escaped from New York. It was in South Carolina. See, and Wall Street was a major slave market. That's why I call it Wall Street, because there was a wall. That was called the Wall Street because they had all slaves along the wall, and that's where they sold them at. It was called Wall Street. It was a famous slave trading street. See, that's where Wall Street come from, because they used to line slaves up along the wall. This was in the North. So they didn't want it. They didn't care nothing about you. They didn't have no problem with slavery. They only had a problem with it when it started affecting their pocketbook. They didn't have a problem with it. And then what? So here's the cruel joke. See, you got Abraham. We see Abraham. So you got Abraham Lincoln. Oh man, wow, is that a coincidence? His name is Abraham. He freed us, right? No, he didn't free you. See, they fired you because here you was dependent on mass for everything, for food, clothing, housing, which it was all inferior. You got one pair of shoes a year. And if they were out, you was walking barefooted. And don't tell me that happened, because I used to go down to North Carolina, and this was in the 50s. My mother's family was from down there, right? My father's family from Louisiana. We used to go down to North Carolina, and the folks were still walking around barefoot outside. They tried to get me to do it, and I said, man, that wouldn't work for me, man. I couldn't do it. That's where the word tenderfoot come from. You couldn't walk in that. Well, they were still doing it. Even nowadays, probably not now, but it's in the 50s. They was walking outside barefooted, no shoes on. See? So you was dependent on mass for everything. Food, clothing, whatever you got, raggedy clothing. You see that picture right there? Those children? Look at those children. You think if they was here now, they wouldn't piss on you? Look at them. And you don't give a damn about them. Look at those kids. You could see the sorrow and the hopelessness on their face. They knew they was faced with nothing but hell. The girl right there, she knows she's going to be raped all her life. She probably would have been raped. Because they didn't wait. They raped him almost out of the crib. And the boy be sodomized and everything else they do to him, especially if you got a creep master. Both of us creeps anyway. If they creeps now, how much you think they was back then when they could do anything they wanted to do with you? You was totally dependent upon them. Look at them. They're raggedy, and you see hopelessness on their face, because they got a life of misery. And you don't give a damn about them? Fuck them. Excuse me. Oh boy, I go there for mom. Sometimes you have to use it. But that's what you're saying to them. That's what you're saying to them. And you was their only hope. You was the only hope that one day you would come and take a vengeance on these people that are doing this to them, and you was going to take them back home. Take them back home, and you just spit on all of that. You spit on all of it. Hey, man, hell with that, man. I got my BMW, man. I'm riding high, man. See? And you love the same people that did that to them. You don't give a damn about the history, nothing. And these people was totally dependent. And so one day, they come and say, you're free. Free? That's the cruelest joke of all. Free to do what? You had no money. You had no house. You had no home. You had no clothes. You had nothing. You couldn't speak the language, right? You couldn't read or write. You had no education, right? What were you free to do? They didn't give you 40 acres and a mule. They didn't give you any damn thing. They didn't give you no severance pay. You was just there, and you couldn't stay on the plantation because that was master's plantation. They didn't give it to you. So master said, get off my plantation. I'm not feeding you. I'm not clothing you. You can't stay in this old shack here anymore. Get off my plantation. So where you gonna go? You can't go to the next plantation. Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? What you gonna do? That's why the blues started. Blues started back then because people had the blues. I know what the hell we're gonna do. What we gonna eat? Where we gonna live? How we gonna take our children? That's what they did. They didn't give you 40 acres. They gave you nothing because they didn't free you. They fired you. They didn't need you anymore. You don't get it. That's how I thought about you. They didn't give a damn. You was homeless. You had nothing. See? And some begged, master, please, master, can I come back into slavery? Some of them because they had no choice. Some of them begged, master, please, can I come back? They call them sharecroppers, which were still slaves. And his master, everything he was doing before, but they call him sharecroppers. He was doing everything he was doing before. But now, you was free though. And you was totally dependent. You know, because, hey, when I was down there in the 50s, they were still sharecroppers. My mother's family down there, they were still sharecroppers. They were sharecropping, then walking around barefooted, living in an old shack. This was in the early 50s. Living in a shack. They had no running water, no toilet, nothing. A log cabin shack. This in the 50s. If that was like that in the 50s, how do you think it was back 100 years earlier? This is North Carolina. Roxborough, North Carolina. Go check it out. See? You had nothing. And they made the law that says, well, if you broke the law, see, you know, your so-called firing freedom was based on conditional. If you didn't break, conditional that you didn't break any laws, because they could officially, legally return you back to slavery, which they called prisons at the time, and they called chain gangs. Just changed the name. You understand? And they did. And so most black folks ended back up in there because they couldn't beg master to get back on the plantation, if master didn't allow them, or whatever the reason was. Then they could do nothing but steal. I mean, where's he going to get the food from? Even if they ran north, they had the same problem. Where they going to get a job? Job doing what? As soon as this happened, the white folks, because of the economic situation to begin with, they created guilds and apprenticeships and unions to keep niggas out. So you couldn't get any job. So most of you had to, you wanted food, so you had to get food wherever you can get it from. So they was stealing. I mean, you saw, you off the plantation, but if you was off that plantation, you was on somebody else's plantation. So you was a loiterer. See, and that had a law against that. If they caught you loitering, they could put you in prison. But where was you gonna go? If you left that plantation, you was on somebody else's plantation. You was on somebody else's land, but you wasn't working there. And you needed food for yourself and your family. Some people just starved to death. Even if you tried to make it towards, there's no how you gonna make it. You had to walk. What, you gonna walk 1,000 miles to the north with no food, no clothing? In the wintertime, maybe? That's the cruel joke. You didn't get 40 acres and a mule. They didn't give me anything. A lot of people died. A lot of people ended up back in prison. A lot of people back on chain gang. See? And then you would still been oppressed. There's the Night Riders and the Ku Klux Klan and all these other people, right? That was still persecuting you, and there was no law against it. And you walking out there, you out there in the forest somewhere because you don't know where to go. Where you gonna go? You only run back to Massa, or you try to go north, but you didn't know where north was. And if you got there, what was you gonna do when you got there? Nothing. You're gonna be the same situation because you had no job, you had no factory, you had nothing. You couldn't do anything. So how were you gonna eat? How are you gonna survive? People they don't talk about that part of it. And our ancestors had to figure out how to get through all of that. And they got through all that just to see you sitting around here today. I mean, I got my BMW, man. I got my little white baby. I got my little baby. I mean, look at her. And she's so pretty. See? Look how white she is. You know, I got my white boyfriend, my white husband. Oh man, I'm on top of the world. You understand? Sick. And you're gonna pay for it. I'm not telling you demons. We know you're doing. I mean, what else you gonna do? I mean, that's your people. So we ain't blame you for that, because we don't want you anyway. I'm talking about you Negro butts out here, you understand, that's doing that, that's cursing your ancestors. Because demons, they're not cursing the ancestors, they love the ancestors, because the ancestors are devils. But you pissing on your ancestors, and you better not, oh man, you a racist, man, you living in the past. You know, what's wrong with you, man? You know, I mean, love is love. That's what Farrakhan told, what's it, Cuban Judah, whoever you know I'm talking about, Cuban, whatever his name is. He went up there, asked about his white girlfriend. I mean, she's ugly as hell, right? Oh, but love is love. You know, because Farrakhan says anything, that money keep coming in. Love is love. See? Okay, well, you come with that story. Because in a few more days, you're going to face the judgment. You come to my love is love. Okay. We'll see how that plays. Because see, you're going to have a lot of red-eyed, angry, you know, fangs, got with blood people that you're going to be running into in the judgment. They ain't hearing no bullshit. They ain't hearing no bullshit. They ain't hearing that. You walk up there with that, you know, with that devil on your arm, and some of you are going to leave the devil behind because you done figured that one out. But we got you. We got you. That ain't going to work. See? Why you leave her behind? Oh, man. Whoa. Oh, now you figured it out. No, it's too late now. You see all those dead people, all those white black folks laying in the ground, dead, got their throats cut because of you, people like you. So now you got to pay the price. That's the cruel joke, brother and sister. That's the cruel joke. That's the cruel joke. They didn't give you 40 acres and a mule. You ask yourself, how did they survive that? How did they survive that? That was almost some ways worse than enslavement. Because now they were still persecuted, but they had, at least the slave master had to give them something, had to give them some food, had to give them a place to stay that was raggedy, give them raggedy clothes, had to give them something. But now you have to give them nothing. It's still persecuting them. Nothing. They had no place to go. They didn't know who they were. All they knew was being persecuted. That's a nightmare from hell. And that's what our people was going through. And you don't acknowledge it whatsoever. You just spit on it. Nah, you mean nothing, man. That's the past, man. You know, I'm getting mine now. Okay. Okay. The cruel joke, brother and sister, that was a cruel joke. That's the cruel joke. Abraham Lincoln freed you. They didn't need you. That's the truth of the matter. See, like I said, they didn't give you no severance pay, gave you nothing, just threw you out there. Might as well just took you like you're in a prison, they drop you off in the North Pole, all by yourself, with no clothes, nothing. So you free. For how long? See, and like I said, in many ways you was worse off than you was when they had you on the plantation. See, at least you had food. It might have been shitlings, but you had something. Hey, you had nothing, and anything you ate, you was stealing. Because where you gonna get it from? You couldn't go to the store. You had no money. What was you gonna eat? What did you eat? See, so you had to stay back on the plantation. Say, I'm gonna be a sharecropper, which was just the name for what you was before, or what, or not, or you could try to, or what else you gonna do? That's the only choice you really had. And those who resisted that choice ended up dead, hung, on chain gangs, or trying to escape to the north where they had found this is much trouble in the north as they had in the south. It's just a different color. It's just the same old shit, just a different color. The cruel joke. And our people don't acknowledge it, don't care. shouldn't run around here. Oh man, this is 2020. Okay. Well, the judgment is going to take place in 2022. See, and you come to me, it's 20 man. Okay, we will see. Honor your mother and father, and you showing honoring them. I don't see any of these Negro bus honoring any of those people in the past. I don't see honoring them at all. They don't even talk about them. Don't care about them. See, and you see a man call the devil, "Hey, bro, how you doing, bro?" What? Like they changed somehow. Even if they change, look, even if these people turned around and became angels, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Turn around and be angels. Still got to pay for what they did to our people. I don't hear the crap. Oh, but they angels now. You know, if you take a lion and you walk with that lion has took down a prey and ate, and he's full. You can nearly walk around that lion. He's gonna bother you unless you bother him unless he feels threatened. See, he's not gonna be in a predator mode when he's full. But if he gets hungry again, you better not be within 1,000 miles of him. And that's what's wrong with these people. They're full. They ate everything. They ate Native Americans. Ate us up. See, so now they're full. See, so now they sit around playing games, talking and all this stuff. But wait till they get hungry again, and they getting ready to get hungry. Oh, they are really getting hungry. And then what you think will happen to you? See, you're gonna be in the menu. You know, I used to get these when I was up in New Jersey, right? I used to get these magazines from like these white I don't want to call them racist, but they weren't Ku Klux Klan, but they was white. I forget what they call them, right? But it's one of the type of white nationalist people, whatever. And these magazines still publishing, but I don't know how to get them. I forgot what the names are, but you probably get them. And they publish them. And these bubbles talking about how to prepare Negroes for supper, how to eat them, and stuff like that. I wish I kept those magazines around. No. See, these people still don't think you're human. See, based on evolution, the evolution idea, and also based on the whole thing about Ham being cursed black and all that kind of stuff. Either way, they still, like the Bible asks you, can a tiger change the stripes? But you think, oh man, they're all right now. I don't care what they are right now. Because see, the thing is, they're all right now. How you know they won't change tomorrow? See, this is probably a democracy. How you know tomorrow they won't get pissed off and put you back in slavery? They can vote it. Why can't they do it? Why can't they do it? Why can't they do it? Oh, they wouldn't do nothing like that. Oh, tell me something that they haven't done. Tell me something they have not done since you've been here this 40 years. And now you're going to tell me what they will not do? They wouldn't do something like that. That's what the Native Americans thought too. You see what happened to them. It's a cruel joke, brothers and sisters. Let's move on and then we're going to close this out. It's sad. Honor your mother and father. But you just spit on your mother and father. You spit on your ancestors. Cruel joke. Look at them, two children. Look at them. Just take a look at why and move on. What you think if they could see you now? What you think they would be thinking about you? You think they would embrace you? Think they call you brother? See? And they got a whole life. I mean, they're young, so maybe 30, 40, 50 years of total suffering. Right? Never eating a decent meal. Never know meal tastes like. They ain't get no candy. They ain't get nothing like that. Right? They only have a childhood. See? Look at them. They made children, but you can look on their face. They ain't have no childhood. See? They're angry. See? And they work in the fields at that age. And that little girl, she's being raped. See? And they look into the future. Oh, my people, man, my people are going to take care of these people for this. And they're going to take us back at home. That's, they can see you now and say, damn. Ooh. They spit on you. They shit on you. See? And you deserve it. Okay. And the demons, we're going to close out with this one, brothers and sisters. Now you got this demon show going on. You know, this so-called Supreme Court nominee. And you got these Negro butts. They're excited about this. Let's see. You had black Supreme Justice before. Did that change your life? They do anything for you? Because when you're Thurgood Marshall and Thomas, that dude, man, only thing white about him, only thing black about him is probably his shoes. Same thing said about OJ. I mean, he's Catholic, he's married a white woman, right? And he don't care nothing about no black folks, nothing, zero. See, 'cause he's a demon, pure and simple. He's on the Supreme Court. Had Thurgood Marshall on the Supreme Court. And he hated the Nation of Islam. Said they were nothing but thieves and robbers. And did they change your life? I mean, they've been there. Thomas still there. They change your life in any kind of way? They do anything for you? Because while Thomas been there, even with Thurgood, no, maybe Thurgood Marshall was going then. But, you know, they got that 3 strikes law. And they got that mass incarceration stuff going on, right? And you get all this time for having when Bill Clinton came along, for having 1 vial of crack. But the devil, he has a whole 18-wheeler truck of cocaine. He gets slapped on the wrist. And you get life for 1 vial of crack. See? So how did that? So how did they help you? Then you had an African president. He wasn't one of us. And did that do anything for you? He did a lot of stuff for the gays. He didn't do a damn thing for you. All he did was criticize you, just like Farrakhan did, tell you how evil you are and you need to atone and you need to correct yourself like we did it to ourselves. See? No, we didn't do this to ourselves. And those brothers and sisters have not yet heard this message, right? We ain't mad at you. If you haven't heard this message, we ain't mad at you. See? Because we're going to make sure you get this message. See, the ones that heard the message ain't doing anything to get the message to you, well, we're going to deal with them. Oh, we're going to deal with them. See, very severely. They won't get anywhere near the promised land. I can tell you that. See, those that heard this message and didn't stand up, they won't get anywhere near the promised land. Nowhere near it. And those that heard it and walked away from it, they won't get anywhere near it either. See, we ain't playing games here, brothers and sisters. It says that's the day of their wrath. It says the day of their forgiveness. It says the day of their wrath, and who could stand? But this is a demon show. That Booker, he's a demon. See, he's been mayor of Newark. He claimed he didn't grow up in Newark. See, these people, and when they get there, they ain't doing anything for you. They're demons. First of all, you won't be successful in society anyway because it wasn't built for you to be successful in it. You'd be successful. You would not be successful in the wintertime. And this society is a winter. I mean, I try to explain it in the winter in terms of summer and winter and spring and winter, right? See, but this is their reality, their fake reality. But you will not be successful in it. But they will. Their demon children will, because it was designed for them. See, now it's springtime with the spring thaw, but now it's time for you because you're going to bring in a reality. That's why it says that God's going to make all things new, a reality that's for you, that you'll be successful in. They will not be successful because they cannot survive the spring thaw. They cannot survive it. They will not be successful in it. So when you see the ones that are successful, you say, oh man, no, those ones are successful, right? Those are demons because they fit in just like the devils. See? Oprah and Denzel and all these clowns here, they're not going to do anything for you. They talk, they get big show. It's a big clown show. See? And Farrakhan's the biggest clown of all. He's the chief demon. See? They look like you, walk like you, but they ain't you. They got the nature of their devils, of their devil daddies. It's a clown show. Oh, let's get her in there. And you think she's gonna do something for you? You keep falling for it, brothers and sisters. Oh, we're gonna do this for you. They don't do a damn thing for you. They're looking out for themselves. She wants to be there for herself, not because she's doing it be there for you. He wants to be a senator for himself, not because he wants to be a senator to help you. They all lie to you like Kamala Harris. She's talking about she's black. She ain't black. She's Indian. They just tell you anything. She don't care about you. Did she marry black? Why she married you? She ain't gonna marry no black person. You ever seen an Indian coming from India and marry a black person? They don't do it. See, because they don't think you're worth anything either. They don't marry black folks. Now she dated a demon, right? See, so I mean, I guess that's something there. But remember again, right? He's a demon, so he's still a devil, right? But at least he had a complexion. But she's Indian, and a Brahmin at that, which means all those dark skin and she hates. That's another story. But they tell you anything, brothers and sisters. They tell you anything. See? So you got this big demon show going on. They're trying to get her on the Supreme Court. And when she gets there, oh man, we got a black woman on the Supreme Court. So what? You got a black African in the White House. Right? He didn't do a damn thing for you. And when you really understand the history of that, he wanted to get rid of you just as much as the white folks did. But see, you don't understand that. That's why the angel reveals everything. It uncovers everything. See, you don't know Obama, but you're gonna find out more about him as time goes on. He didn't care about you either. All he did was point a finger at you. Oh man, y'all need to do better. The same crap Farrakhan was doing. Remember the thing went on? What was that? Was that Flint? Where they had the poison? What was it? Asbestos poisoning? Was that asbestos? Lead poisoning. Remember that? Go Google it. He didn't do a damn thing about it. Then they kept putting pressure on him. Now this is where most black folks living there. He didn't do a damn thing about it. They kept pressing, you gotta do something, so he goes out there. Brothers and sisters, check this out. He goes out there. They finally get him to go out there. So he just lose photo op. He says, give me a glass of water. Now these kids was being mentally and disabled and everything, drinking this lead, because lead will definitely mess you up. It will definitely deaden your mind. It will definitely incapacitate your ability to learn, right? And these kids will suffer from this because it's really bad. White folks had took all the water and had the lead stuff going down to where the black communities is. And so he goes out there doing a photo op. He said, give me a glass of water. Brothers and sisters, it's hard to believe, right? I mean, it shouldn't be hard to believe because we know these people. And he just, he stuck his finger in it and stuck his tongue in the water. He stuck his tongue in the water. Go Google it. Don't take my word for it. He stuck his tongue in the water and said, man, there's nothing wrong with this water, and got out of town. And the woman, I don't know if she's a mayor or she's a representative, whatever. She said he better never bring his ass back there again. And these were black children. He didn't do a damn thing about it. Nothing. But he sure did a lot of stuff about gays and stuff, didn't he? Get a big party and everything for them. Brothers and sisters. Demons. Demons. The cruel joke. And they're a cruel joke too. Because they're the worst weapon, they're the best weapon the devil's ever made against us. Against the whole world. Because they started spreading their seeds, the chaff and the wheat, spread seeds 600 years ago all over the planet. When they came out of Europe, right, out of Dark Ages, out of Bauman's Pit, read chapter 20 all over again. It was the resurrection of Islamic empire, resurrection of the Abrahamic Islamic empire by Prophet Muhammad that locked them up in the pit for us for 1,000 years. And when they came out, right, they were covering the whole world, said they would go out, kill and steal and destroy. Then how did they get this country? They stole it, but it was happening, they killed them, right? and he destroyed us as a people. But it says, these demons, see, when they came out, they start raping all over the planet. Splitting their sea, because they know that would destabilize all the countries, because all the countries, like, it was like basically harmony between it, right? And then they introduced their seed, and then this caused this harmony, because their seed was loyal to the devils, their daddies. And so they caused this harmony amongst the people. So they had confusion. See? So now you got trouble, all the kingdoms, all the places where they've been, now you got all kinds of trouble. That's where you got trouble in China, because now you got disruption, people in harmony. And they gravitate towards the devils. And so now you got disruptions and stuff. That's what they did. See? And they did it intensely to our people, because they had us under about captivity for 100 years, and they was relentlessly unrestrained rape on our black women, to the extent that they say half the black people in America are demons. They're slave masters' children. See? And they were undetected. You didn't know what a demon was. They were undetected for almost 500 years until I revealed who they were. They said the first thing Suleiman would do is expose the demons. That's how he exposed Legion. Read Mark. He exposed those demons, because that was our worst problem, the worst plague. Because we first had to get rid of them. Elijah Muhammad revealed who the devils were. It takes Suleiman to reveal who the demons are. See, because it was diabolical, because they was running around invisible to the naked eye, almost 500 years doing their damage, doing their dirt, destabilizing countries. They roamed the earth undetected for almost 500 years, doing, of course, all this confusion and everything, until I reveal who they are. And then we find we got the worst of it all. It's a cancer. It's just, that's the way cancer works. Cancer disguises itself as a healthy cell while it goes around destroying other cells. And that's what's happened. They look like us, walk like us, talk like us, but they ain't us. They don't care about us. They love Master, and they're doing Master's will. And they don't care about you. What have they ever done for you? Have any of them ever improved your condition in any kind of way, any way at all? No. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So I think we're going to leave it there. The cruel joke. You better go check it out, brothers and sisters. The cruel joke. The cruel joke. See? So you do some research and find out how the hell do people survive the 20, 30, 40 years after they were so-called freed. How did they survive? How did they survive? What did they go through? See, because it was worse than when they was in the chains. But that part of history don't tell you. Because you just think about it. How did they survive? They had no jobs. Unless they went back in slave with Master. And he was doing the same thing he was doing before. He just gave a new name. Sharecropping. So if they wasn't doing that, how did they survive? How did they survive? How did they survive? How did they survive? So that you could sit around here and put your head spurring the Master's ass. Oh, Master, I love my head up your ass. I love the view. Oh, the smell, man. I love the smell. It's sad. It's sick. It's sick. Honor your mother and father. You honor them? How you think they would feel about you today? How do you think they feel if they came forward and see you today? Elijah Muhammad said they would condemn you. You're no damn good. You see what they did to us, and you loving on them, marrying them, kissing on them, hanging with them. See, like they ain't do nothing. See. So either you're a demon or you're just dumb as hell. See, we know Negro bus. We know you got a problem. Like I said, if you haven't heard this message, then we ain't mad at you. We're trying to get this message to you. But if you heard it and you still dishonor your ancestors, we got news for you, brothers and sisters. You going through a tribulation period. It ain't no 7 years like they say. right? It's a 1 year period. But then we see how you come out and see how you feel about it. Because these people you're going to feel the full brunt. And then we see if you come out and see how see what your state of mind is going to be when after that happens. See, because you're going to get a taste of what they went through. See, and see if you still love Master. See, you want to marry Master, you want to be with Master. When Master's mask comes off, see, and you see them for what they really are, because the mask's coming off. They haven't changed their ways. See, there's not one's righteous, no, not one. They haven't changed their ways. They just fool you. See, as long as they can freeze your mind, keep you frozen, right? Then they can keep on getting away with it. Like I tell people, I try to use an analogy of a spring thaw. See, they're trying to thaw you out, but you keep holding on to the ice. How you gonna get thawed out? If you hang around with them, you can't hear this message. Because how you gonna tell them, what you gonna say, hey baby, you a devil. You evil. You understand? Y'all done all this stuff, y'all been raping. You can't talk to them like that. That's not, you hanging with them. So that means they freezing this message out. But you can't talk about it. You got to talk about winter stuff. NBA, NFL. Understand? And if you talk about black folks, oh man, when they could be doing better, man, if they weren't so lazy, man, and so forth and so on. Because that's, you got Negroes saying that kind of stuff. Because that's what white folks want to hear. Pull yourself by your bull shoe straps. See. You came over here, but you got to get past all that, man. You got to start doing something for yourself. Yeah, it's true. You got to do something for yourself, but you got to get past all that, man. That's in the past. Really? Oh, it's in the past. See, but the consequences of it ain't in the past. The consequences we're dealing with right now. The consequences of everything you did, we're dealing with right now, and you're going to deal with the consequences of what you did in a minute. Hope you understand. So, let's close out our brothers and sisters here. Oh, excuse me, brothers and sisters. Oops. Kind of bog with that one. Okay. Oh, I just got this message that too close to my mic. Should have been paying attention. I apologize for that. Anyway, the video version, I include that so you can see the video version, and it usually comes out better. For some reason, the iPad, what do they call this thing? What they call this thing? For some reason, because I do both at the same time, for some reason the audio doesn't work as good as it does with the video version, both at the same time. But if you look at the video version, it's clear. And when you look at the podcast, it's not. So I'm not sure how to do that because it's the same mic. I got to work with it. So I apologize, brothers and sisters, on that one. But I include the video version so you can go back and look at the video version, which usually the mic is much better, it's much clearer. So anyway, we're going to close out here, brothers and sisters. This is the Black Alert segment of Fire Zone. Fire Zone out. Okay, brothers and sisters, we'll close out. Remember, honor your mother and father if you want to stick around here. Assalamu alaikum.